Hey guys, welcome back to the porch. I decided I want to do a short video because I just had one of those moments in life that was so beautiful I almost feel bad making a video about it because I don't want to taint it and use these beautiful moments of life for content. I'm not trying to exploit beautiful organic moments of life for content. But when you really have these moments of life that are insightful and beautiful and soulful, I also think, especially if they inspire things that I think are important messages, I do want to share genuine messages that come from my heart, that are the actual thoughts I'm thinking with you guys. And this one is a genuine message. So for the stranger who brought this message to my heart, I truly thank you. I had a beautiful conversation an afternoon with you, and I hope you think of this video as a celebration of our conversation and not like a commoditization of our conversation, because I don't think it was that. So let me give the rest of you a little bit of context for what happened. So it was a nice afternoon. Today's a day off. It's a holiday. And I had this guitar that I had been trying to sell for a while on Facebook Marketplace. And I've mentioned in another video of mine that I have had amazing exchanges through Facebook Marketplace. It's kind of crazy to me, but I just feel like I've often had these really incredible conversations with people that I don't even know if I would have if I owned a store full of stuff and was selling it. I think when you are in the business of selling things, people don't talk to you with that same openness and trust that they might when they just think you're someone trying to pass something on and get a little life, a little value back from it and give it a second life. So I had been talking to a lot of people about this beautiful guitar, and I was only letting go of it because it didn't seem like it was the right size for me, and I didn't think I was at the skill where I was really using it. So I felt like, you know what, someone else can make better use of this now. I don't want to be responsible for managing it and making sure it has the right upkeep, and I have other guitars that can play in the meantime. And this one person was very excited about it, and we had our back and forth, and then I met him today in the afternoon, and I was very surprised. You never know what to expect when you're talking to a person you've never met through a tiny photo you can barely see, but he was a much older guy, and I just didn't expect it as much because I think sometimes I have found that some of the older people I know are actually trying to size down for some reason. They're starting to gravitate maybe towards smaller instruments, and this one was big. But he actually was looking for a larger size guitar, and he came and he had a cane, and he comes up my steps, and maybe I have this bad habit as well, or maybe I jumped to conclusions and thought, I don't know why. Again, I feel like I've been seeing more elder people selling the guitars they had earlier in their life rather than acquiring new ones. But he ended up coming, and it was such a nice day that I said, would you like to play it? And you can play it as much as you like, and listen to it and make sure you like how it sounds and how it feels and the quality. And I'm happy to set you up with a chair on the porch, or if you can't come up the stairs, I can bring a chair to you. And he made his way up the porch, and he sat down. And I said, I could give you privacy, but I'm also happy to sit with you and listen, and it gives me like a free little concert. And he just started playing the most beautiful guitar, and it really touched my soul. It was so beautiful. He was plucking with this beautiful fingering pattern, and he was playing some really beautiful classical guitar. And he started, he wanted to know why I was selling it. So I told him, I'm really new. I don't think I need something this fancy right now. And I had bought too many, and, so I want someone else to use it. And then I said, how about you? And he said that he lost his wife 3 years ago to pancreatic cancer. And since losing her and having to live alone, and also getting this condition which has kind of paralyzed one of his legs. He said, I just sit alone in my house a lot, and I have this big, beautiful house, and I've raised 2 kids, and they're off on their own. And I have this huge property, all these acres of land. But I used to play guitar when I was younger, and I kind of stopped when I was raising my family. And after losing my wife and my children moving out, I have a couple of guitars that I really love, and I sit in my living room, and I mostly play there, and sometimes I go to church and play there, but that's about it. And I think he just wanted to round out his collection. He wanted one that had the kind of sound that this one made, its particular kind of tone, and he really loved the brand and had a passion for all the details, the sound system, the kind of wood it was, all of that. And that made me so happy, first of all, to see something going to a home it would really be loved in, and hands it would really be loved by. But his story was just so touching. So he starts playing different songs, and he started singing some of the songs that he's written. And he told me he didn't really have a way with words, so a lot of the songs are only half written, but he just felt comfortable enough playing, and I think I made him feel comfortable enough to keep going, because he said he's gotten really conscious at his age, and he doesn't really go to that many open mics. And I was like, you should. You absolutely should. His music and his lyrics really touched me. They touched me like down to my heart. And I go to open mics all the time, and I see people who are so talented, amazing voices, amazing music playing skills. But I don't think anyone has ever touched my soul through the songs they were singing, the way this old man who's sitting alone in his house and obviously is missing his wife so much. How he's singing, it was so palpable. And he kept talking about everything that happened after his wife died. All these plans he had made his whole life when he had been working 60 hours a week kind of went up in the air. And then he gets this leg condition, and he can't even do that much on his land. And he really faced a lot of depression. And we talked about a lot of different themes. We talked about, what it means to live a good life, and spirituality and music. And I just genuinely felt like it was one of those days where, thank God I didn't have too many plans already made, and I was okay, even though there's always more to do. I have work I could have done for my own projects, for the home, for work itself, and yet I try to practice what I preach, and I said, there's nothing urgent. I want to live in the moment. And I spent maybe a good hour or two just on my porch talking to this person I've never met before about life, while he tried playing every different song that he felt like playing, and got to enjoy the guitar and really make sure he wanted it, but also, I think, just enjoy the exchange with another human being. And I just wanted to make this video before I got on with the rest of my day, because in my opinion, these are the moments. It's these moments that make the fabric of a well-lived life. It's not the moments where you finally get recognition and get called out for some amazing thing you did at work. Those moments can be great, but they're short and fleeting, and they're more about you getting a little bit of a sort of food into your ego. Whereas these moments where there's no ego involved at all, it's just a heart-to-heart conversation with two people exploring the meaning of living a human life on this planet. And we probably came from very different walks of life. He's an older Caucasian gentleman from somewhere out further than I am in Michigan. He said it was colder where he came from, so he came with a thicker jacket, and it's obviously very warm here. And so he drove quite a way to come out here and get this guitar. And I originally come from New York, and my family comes from Pakistan, and I'm a totally different age, different career, different stage of life. And yet we were able to sit here and share a couple of hours of our afternoon and just talk as people with no judgment, no expectations, no feelings. And he told me he really, after he had sang a couple of songs, he said it took some courage for him to do that. He's not used to singing in front of people. And I said, you should, because look, you've lost so much. You've lost your wife, in a sense, your life and your legs. And yet you still have this gift that you gave yourself years ago when you learned how to play this instrument. And you're singing songs that are coming from your heart. The lyrics and the melodies are coming straight from your heart. They're the things you're thinking about, looking back on your life when you're alone in your living room. And they hit more than songs people are writing with the intention of writing a song that they, want to be popular or likable. It's just, I think he's actually just writing from the heart in order to cope with his life. And I think when your art comes from that sincere place where you're creating it so that it helps you understand your life better or the world around you better, or just process bundles of complicated emotions that are tangled up inside you. It has a purity to it, and his had such a beautiful purity. And yeah, now my day is kind of like all over the place a little bit, and don't really know how I'll finish it off because I wasn't expecting that interlude, but I'm okay with it. It's okay. It was, not only am I okay with it, I'm grateful for it, because I feel like I made his day a little more joyful and interesting. And I think he did the same for me, and also left with a lot of well wishes in his heart for my success in life and guitar. And I feel like I got some like good energy from him, and I gave him some good energy, and that was it. It was two human beings exchanging energy. And it's something, again, that's kind of, you can't explain it in logical terms. Like, how do you have two people who exchange this energy that's like emotional waves that are hard to measure, and yet it's so obvious that is what happened, right? Two people shared that and both left feeling more full. And those moments, they can happen often if you're the right kind of person in the right kind of place. They can happen every so often if you're always kind of blocked and rushed. I don't think they're going to happen as often. But I think the more you slow down your life, live in the moment, and give respect for the human experience, the human-to-human moments, and have some empathy, I think you can have more of those moments, and they'll fill your soul with the food that your soul so desperately needs. Because in a world where we're feeding our body too much, there's like a lot of overconsumption. And then we're feeding our minds too much. We really don't feed our souls very much, and we don't even know how to. And so I just wanted to make this video to talk about this afternoon. It just is a fresh example. My soul feels so full. And it's because I had this beautiful afternoon with a stranger who touched my heart, not just with his story, but with his energy and his personality and his humility. And I hope the same way I'm getting out of my comfort zone and putting on the camera on the porch and talking while people are walking by and trying not to worry about what anyone else thinks, because I think the message is worth sharing and that someone or another will be able to take it. I hope that he does the same thing and realizes that his life story, which is, the foundation of all this art that his heart wants to create, is also worth sharing. And it doesn't have to be perfect in order to touch someone. I think it just has to be sincere. And I hope he brings his beautiful, sincere messages to the world so that other people can share them and enjoy them because that's all we have at the end of the day. We're just human beings who are all going through these ups and downs, and you never know when you're going to get your next down. And we just have to lift each other through it and love each other through it. And all the other successes and achievements and goals, they have their place, but I don't think anyone should let those things come in the way of having a rich human experience. That is like the most important thing to have when you are a human being on this planet for however long you're going to be here. You're a human being. You don't know how long you're going to be here. Try to have that rich human experience. And yeah, that's basically what I want to leave you with. So I hope that little anecdote maybe spoke to or gave you the little reminder you needed to maybe just let go of some of the busy tasks that are on your mind and on your calendar, and to be okay just going about living life in a flowy, freer, open state of mind, so that you can just enjoy the experience of being a human and maybe get the chance to share it with some others. All right, that's what I got for you. Hope you'll have a beautiful, blessed, and wonderful day. Talk to you next time. Bye.